We're still in Boulder, walking our dog George. We are about to head out, so hopefully you guys enjoy this sort of throwback to college type of vlog and race video. All right, I got through security before Allie did, so I'm eating now, and we have like a long time. We have like an hour and a half before the flight takes off, so we're chilling for a little while. All right, we're at our gate. How are you feeling right now?
Pretty good, you know. I'm the calm one when it comes to travel. Spence freaks out.
It's not true. Hey, this is our moment in the video to shout out the podcast.
Yes.
Every Step of the Way podcast. If you want to hear us bicker and giggle and
I
laugh
make
and
fun
cry.
of Spencer a lot. It's really fun.
It's good. It's good stuff. We are on the flight.
Yeah, we are.
I'm just really happy, people. I feel like my new mindset is like it's a celebration to be here. Like I'm just so happy to just be doing a fun event with Allie. First time we're both racing together. It's gonna be fun. All right, we're in the car with Wareham. Shout out to Wareham. If you guys remember him, just comment down below. Anything to say?
Not much to say other than, you know, Spence, big deal tomorrow or Sunday. He's got to be sub 50 or else there's some problems.
Yeah, Wareham's putting all the pressure on me. Okay, it is the day before the race. It's about 9:20 right now, and we are gonna shake out. Yeah, we're gonna do that right now, and then we're gonna go get food and hang out all day. So we're staying in St. Paul, Minnesota. First time in Minnesota for me. I thought that St. Paul was like a town of 10,000 people, but apparently it's a city of like 400,000, so it's a little bit incorrect about that.
Is it that big?
That's what Nick said last night, so. You know, pro tip is you gotta always put your bib on the day before to really feel like you figured it out.
And there's no way that you could do that on race day. Always got to do it the day before.
These bibs are so big though. It's like...
Yeah, don't even get me started on the size of bibs. I'm wearing a crop top trying to fit that thing on.
All right, this is probably gonna be my last clip of me talking before the race, but it's like 4:30 in the morning, 4:40, eating food. Also, guys, you guys gotta give me a shout out in the comments below for strapping the Insta360 to my head for this race. No one else is doing this. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be the only person in the elite field with a freaking Insta360 strapped to my head. Trust me.
Oh, actually, Connor Mance told me he's doing it.
Oh yeah, by the way, Connor Mance is in this race. You might know him. He's like pretty good. He's a pretty good local runner. Now it's going.
Yeah, it's flashing right now.
Before we get into the race, I want to do a massive shout out to my awesome sponsor, COROS. Without COROS, I would not be where I am right now. I absolutely love wearing the COROS Pace 3 watch and the COROS heart rate monitor. I wear those every single day on my runs to help monitor my training. And the coolest part about this race is you're going to see all of the COROS data because of their awesome collab that they have with Insta360. So thank you, COROS, for being an amazing partner. You have been such a big help with me coming back to being able to do these elite level races, and I could not thank you enough. I also want to quickly shout out SOAR, my apparel sponsor. Thank you guys for fitting me for this race. I felt super strong and confident on the line with your incredible apparel, so I'll leave a link down below for SOAR products if you guys are interested in that as well.
Runners set.
And we are off, folks. I am so excited to be able to commentate over this race for you guys. This was an absolute blast of a race, the longest race I've ever done by far. First, I want to show you, as we're starting off this race, the whole elevation plot of the race, just so you have a good understanding of how it is. And as you can see, it's very, very difficult. The first 2 miles are very fast though, as it's flat and mostly downhill. But after 2 miles, it's pretty much all flat and uphill for the rest of the race, which is really, really difficult for a 10-mile race because it's already super long and super out of my range. But as you can see, this race went out crazy fast, and I was already way out of it from the main leaders. But we are already coming up to 1 mile here, and we came through 1 mile in 4:46, which is incredibly fast. Hopefully not too fast for a 10-mile race. But again, a lot of the first mile and the second mile is downhill, so you can't be too concerned if you're a little bit fast. But you know, the whole thing I wanted to do this race was just actually challenge myself and really see how hard I could push. And my overall A goal would be to break 50 minutes, which is 5-minute miles. So we are under the pace as of now, but I kind of joined up with this group of 3 right here. There were really good runners way up ahead, like Clayton Young and Connor Mance, some Olympians literally in the marathons who are incredible. But I was running with this pack for a while. We're coming up to 2 miles. Our second mile split was around a 4:52 mile, so another really fast mile to start the race. But we knew that that was going to happen because now on mile 3 we're going to start slowly climbing up the first really big hill. And at this point I was feeling solid. The sun was starting to come up, and this group, I was just trying to hang with them, but you know, they were starting to get a little bit of distance on me, especially on this hill. And you know, I was basically at I wouldn't say redlined at this point in the race, but you know, you're hurting a lot early in these races, and you just have to sort of accept it. Yeah, this is the hill right here. It's really difficult, and we turn, and we're actually going to turn and go over this big bridge over here. First time I've ever run across a big bridge in a road race, so we will check our box on that situation. But yeah, there's some guys who are getting ahead of me right now. I'm with one guy, and then my boy Charlie Lawrence came up to me on 3 miles, came through 3-mile split in 5:09 though, and I was really happy to see Charlie. His plan was to just chill the first couple miles and then just start picking people off. This was like a extended tempo run for him basically, but I wanted to run with my boy Charlie for as long as I could once I found him. So I was really happy to see him at 3 miles into the race, and we kind of just went back and forth with each other for a while now, and it was just overall really nice to have Charlie right next to me. And yeah, at this point I was just kind of keying off him, and we definitely picked up the pace again, as you guys can see from the pace. Mile 4 was one of the last flat miles, so we did want to take advantage of this before the long stretch of about 4 miles worth of hills. So Charlie was really just ripping at this point, and I was having a hard time keeping up because our mile 4 was close to around a 4:52, so it was a big jump back into a fast pace. Now on mile 5, here we go. It's gonna start getting quite a bit uphill, and it might be a little bit hard to tell from this camera, but you basically just go up this sort of slow, long hill, and it just starts to grind you. We're not quite there yet, but at this point at 4.4, I was grabbing water because I was definitely feeling thirsty. And honestly, looking back, I should have tried to grab water more throughout the race. I don't think I did enough of that, and I probably should have had more electrolytes because later on, oh my gosh, I get the worst cramp. Well, actually at this point at 4.5, I had started to develop a small cramp on my right side, which was, you know, nothing out of the ordinary for me. But the only problem is that this race is 10 miles, not 6 or 7, which is already the longest I've done. So I did not realize how bad this cramp was going to get. But here we are getting close to mile 5, and this you can see right here, we're going uphill at this point, and I'm kind of in no man's land, but a 5:04 for mile 5 is pretty solid. So I'm still on the pace that I want to run, and now we're just grinding up this hill. But oh my gosh, people, I cannot describe to you how bad this stomach cramp is getting. It might be like a diaphragm cramp or something. That's what people have been saying, but it was absolutely miserable at this point. And I just kept kind of chugging along. We're on Summit Road now, which is this long road of just slightly gradual uphill. And I just kind of put my head down and grinded as hard as I could. I was losing sight of my boy Charlie. He was really picking people off and stuff. But again, I missed getting water at that water station right there. I should have done that. And we're getting close to mile 6 now, and I was definitely getting concerned that I was in a lot of pain. My breathing was getting pretty bad, but I didn't feel terrible. But we came through mile 6 running a 5:08 up the hill, so honestly, not bad at all. And I started to catch other runners who were falling off, but like I said, folks, this cramp was getting awful. But again, I was still forward momentum throughout the race at this point. But again, this cramp was just so miserable. And it's frustrating because aerobically, I felt so good, but I just felt like I couldn't push because this cramp was just getting worse and worse to the point where I really couldn't breathe. It was quite miserable to that extent. So unfortunately, the Insta360 died at a little over 6.4 miles, but my friend Nick was on the course for mile 7 for me, which was a 5:12, so the slowest mile so far. And then at this point, it was a battle to get home because I just couldn't breathe because of this cramp. Unfortunately, there's no more footage, but my mile 8, I was able to pick it up again to 4:56, and I felt like I was going to close it out strong with miles 9 and 10. But unfortunately, when I got to mile 9, I ran a 5:07 for mile 9, and these miles are mostly flat, so I should have been able to run 4:50s on these. But again, that cramp in my stomach was so bad, I was having just a hard time breathing. But I was trying to survive here. I only had 1 mile to go, and I was really close to sub 50. So are we going to break 50 minutes, folks? Let's find out. We were so close, people. 50:27. We still achieved our B goal, and yes, mile 10 was a 5:06, which doesn't seem terrible, but it was all downhill on that last mile, and I really wanted to be able to run, you know, like a 4:40 or 4:50 at least, but I couldn't breathe. I don't know how to describe it, but oh my gosh, people, what an experience this race was. I had an amazing time overall, and it just makes me hungrier and makes me just want to dive into this world more. So I had an absolute blast, and we've got a half marathon coming up soon, so I'm really excited about that, and plenty of more road races to come in the following weeks. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we'll see you soon.